I bought a replica of the MACVSOG Indigenous rucksack. I'm Zach Masick. This is the Deadwater Society. Okay, so not really much of a gearhead, mainly because I just can't afford it right now in my life. But one thing I've really wanted to do or get into, particularly since I started the show, was using equipment that historical figures or guys, soldiers, warriors, whatever, were using back in the day. Obviously, it's a little difficult when we're talking about ancient history, whatever, knights. But if you're not new to the channel, you'll know that maybe a little over a month ago, I think, I released an episode on the Special Forces Green Beret history. I dedicated a lot of time or a lot of that episode to MACVSOG or SOG, generally speaking, long range reconnaissance guys, what they were doing in Vietnam. And one of the things that I found super fascinating was they would actually, many of them, if not most of them, would wear sterile equipment. So no patches, no name tapes. Very often they would take Viet Cong equipment and repurpose it or just reuse it. And then they would actually have their guys manufacture the enemy's kit. So you'll see them wearing a bunch of stuff that looks like Viet Cong equipment or even Viet Cong uniforms. And one of those things, one of those pieces of equipment was the Indigenous Ruck. It looks like some early version of an Alice Ruck. You have the main flap, you get the three pouches in front, and the whole thing, it's literally just fabric. This is 100% cotton. And when I first went online, I had this idea. I sort of got a little gordito. I got a little fat and needed to do some more cardio. Didn't feel like running, so I thought I'd ruck. So I was already rucking around, and then I thought it'd be fun to try to get my hands on one of these. If you actually want to buy like an authentic Indigenous ruck that was used by one of the MACVSOG guys, the things cost like $450. And it's a collector's item. You're not going to go ruck with the thing. But lo and behold, of course, I found this ruck on Amazon. Someone's manufacturing it. I think it was even a company in the United States. And so I bought it. So far as I can tell, just looking at pictures, obviously, it matches the ruck that they were using. And I couldn't believe it when I first got it. It just seemed so not janky, just feeble. I mean, there's no padding in this whatsoever. It is 100% cotton, just fabric. And I could not believe. So I loaded it up like 30, 35 pounds, 45 minutes or so. This is one of the most comfortable rucksacks I've ever used in my entire life. And by the way, I backpacked. I've used North Face, I've used Arc'teryx Ruck, backpacks, whatever you want to call them. Obviously, I was in the military a long time. Mystery Ranch, this and that, rucks that had the internal padding frame, extra Gucci straps, belly band. This thing has none of that. So it is literally, this is just fabric. I don't know if it was by design or by accident, but this thing, I'm telling you, is super comfortable. By the way, this is not sponsored. I can't even remember who the company is who manufactures these today, but I'll put it down in the link if you want to buy one. Like I said, I think I said it was $35, so it costs next to nothing. For now, I will never go back to a Gucci unless I'm doing some big trek, right? Of course, I'm going to go get like a really nice backpack if I'm going up in the mountains for a week or something. But if I'm just stomping around the woods for a few days, I'm 100% going to bring this out. It's not perfect. There are some downsides. These buckles that you see throughout the entire ruck, they're absolutely hot garbage. They're janky as janky can be. When you try to get this thing on and you shoulder it on one side, this will just immediately come loose, and it's almost impossible to tighten the straps as they're on your back. So you have to sort of adjust them prior to putting it on. And then if you can see, I just knotted these in such a way where like it doesn't loosen with the weight on my back. And it works fine. I mean, it took me a while to figure that out, but it works fine. No chest strap, no belly band. Again, I'm absolutely floored. Yesterday, like I said, I did about 40-ish, 35, 40 minutes, something like that. Through the woods, around the neighborhood, up and down. I've never been so comfortable underneath a ruck in my entire life. I will say if you're trying to do like a full basic loadout here, I don't know. Let's say like you're obviously an SUT, you have to use whatever they give you. But if you're trying to find a ruck for like a full basic loadout, you could definitely fill this to the brim. I don't know if you're going to get all your stuff in there. With that said, though, fantastic ruck. It's held up. Obviously, no waterproofing. It's just the cotton's just going to soak up water, which is not necessarily the end of the world. The last thing I'll say that I actually really, really appreciate about this bag, and this is, again, just sort of an accident, but it doesn't, to me at least, it doesn't scream I'm military or military adjacent. I mean, to me, this looks like a retro mid 20th century ruck. If you were walking around a city or an airport or in public somewhere, no one's going to automatically assume you have some sort of military background or anything like that. There's no Molly on it. I think Molly is, I get the utility. I think it's just hideous, generally speaking. But if you're just doing an overnight and you just want to bring a backpack with you or something, this is perfect. I'm super excited I found this. I think the secret, this is the last thing I'll note. I think the secret, honest to God, if you're a manufacturer of soft goods and you want to build a ruck, just FYI, it is sewn in this sort of V shape at the top here. And when you tighten these down really well, it sits like right at the top of your back. And it just, I cannot stress this enough. I've been absolutely stunned at how comfortable this thing is. I'm going to do some more testing. I would have to imagine some of the parts that are sewn in, it's the whole thing sewn in, are going to at some point start to rip. But so far, so good. I've done probably, I don't know, somewhere close to like 12 movements with this thing. I would definitely replace the buckles at the bottom, at least on here. In the front, closing the front flap, the buckles are all the same, but you don't really need to change those. They do what they need to do. They're not under a ton of stress. So anyways, little history, live history for you there, testing out some gear. I'd love to do more of this kind of stuff. It's just obviously hard. Right now, if you haven't watched, I've been covering the Reconquest of Spain, and I don't own a suit of armor or a horse, so that'd probably be pretty tough. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Zach Masick. This is the Dead Warrior Society. We'll see you next time. Deuces.